I'm really excited for this one today, guys. I have got From the Nails 2023 Fall Collection, the Maple Collection. I'm really excited for this one. These are the kind of colors that I love. This is a 10-piece collection from Fgel, and I'm going to swatch it and see what we've got. So here is our little color card, so we can put it on display. It did come in a lovely mesh bag, which I have since misplaced because I did get this set last year, but I have not yet swatched my colors. So we are going to take a look at these beauties and see what this syrup collection is like. These are a 10 ml bottle. It's a fall syrup collection. And just look at those colors. So nice. So what we have here in the collection is FS 115 through 124. I have a few Fgel collections at this point, and it's one that I really like. Their price point is quite decent when it comes to Korean gels. This collection in Canada was $244. In the US, it's $171. You can pick it up at Zillabeau. I got it on sale last year for the Black Friday sale, so I got it for a good price. I really love how closely colored their bottles are to the actual polish. They do a really good job of getting that color match. And you see it a lot in more expensive brands, especially Korean brands, but it's just really nice to be able to easily go to your polishes and grab the color that you want because you can see it on the outside of the bottle rather than having to go through all the numbers and labels and find which bottle it is because the entire collection is the same colored bottle. So that is one ideal that I give to the higher brands. I'm okay paying for a little bit extra for that so that I know exactly what bottle I'm grabbing really quick and easy. Look at that. The self level is really nice. It's that nice syrup quality where the first layer is like super glassy, and as you build it, you're getting it more and more pigmented with opaque coloring. we are with all these beautiful colors, all finished and top coated. As always, I've got a matte coat at the base and glossy coating out to the tip. These colors are really lovely. They're nice and muted. They are a little more of a glass jelly color to me than syrupy or milky. So a little more glass looking, but all the colors are really nice. And it's a really good fall palette for those kinds of colors. So I would definitely say that if you are on the lookout for a gorgeous autumn colored Korean syrup gel, that this is a really good one to look into. You could do some really incredible, subtle, nuanced designs with this type of a syrup polish. It's just really nice. And of course, the formula is beautiful. It self-levels really nicely. It's got such a beautifully smooth and consistent formula so that by your second coat, your coverage is perfectly smooth, perfectly leveled, because it does level out wonderfully. I'm really impressed with this collection. Another winner from Fgel. I love From the Nail. I'm really happy I picked it up and got it on sale. Now here's another Fgel collection I got last year. I'm not sure if it was a 2023 release or earlier, but this is the Winery collection. And when I had originally bought these two collections, I was concerned that I might find that they were too similar, but indeed they are not. So if anybody wants to see what they look like in comparison, the Maple collection is extremely muted in comparison. Very similar color collection, but very different in that the Winery is quite bold and colorful, and the Maple is very muted and not as bright and vibrant as the Winery collection. So I did these beautiful nails for a wedding for mother of the groom, and I'm going to be going to, so I'm working on my own set. Figured I would show you guys my process and how I go about figuring out what I'm going to do. So first things first, I wanted to match the color of my outfit. So my dress has this over it. It's a very beautiful purpley, dark blue, super sequins happening. So then what I try to do is somewhat match the colors. I found this here for my Bemi leaf gels that matches quite well. It's a goth wedding, so I also wanted to incorporate some cool stickers that I never got to use at Halloween that I thought would be so much fun for this. Plus quick and simple because didn't have a whole lot of time to work on it. So I was experimenting with some syrup gel and magnet gels to try and create the best look for the base of my nails. It needed to be light enough for the stickers to show over easily, but dark enough that it matches with my outfit. So I'm hoping this works. So all these little samples I did, and I was kind of liking this one here the best in the end. Some of them I did with a very, very fine magnet, and as beautiful as they are, it just didn't quite match the look because my sequins are so sparkly that I realized I kind of need that sparkle in there. And because I'm going with this leaf gel, it just, if it was too smooth of a magnet, it didn't really work out. Or if it was too transparent, it wasn't really working out. So it's looking like one of these guys. So I did a number of tests by layering up one layer, 2 layer, 3 layers of this to see what would happen. And then going in with a mixture that I just played with on a little palette, mixed it up and decided on what I wanted to do. So then I'm going to create enough of it in this little pot, which comes out of my paint palette box. So then I can store it when I'm done, or if I'm mid-project and I just won't end up wasting it all, having it accidentally cure on me or end up in the garbage. So my final decision was to go with 3 base coats of color of this one here, and then go in with a 4th coat where I am mixing the cat eye along with the syrup gel. And that gave me the best effect that I liked. So I have put my tips onto these plastic stands so that I don't have to fight with the magnet base, because many tips like these, they have the magnets in them, and it can actually become a bit of a challenge to get the magnets to do what you want them to. So instead, I work the magnet part on these stands here. So now that I've got my tips both etched and primered with my Prey tip preps, I'm going to go in with 3 very, 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 very thin coats of this syrup gel. And that's going to get my color laid down. So here I am going in with my third and final coat of the syrup gel. And the reason I'm doing 3 very thin coats as opposed to 2, say, a little bit heavier ones, is that as much as I love syrup gels and as versatile as they are, some of them you do have to watch that if you're too heavy-handed with them, they can kind of shadow and pool at the sides and stuff. And because of the variation in the color, when it builds, you'll end up with like what looks like a shadowing kind of effect that isn't always ideal. So I find that if you go with 3 very thin coats, you're going to have much more consistent coverage, and you're not as likely to end up with those darker kind of shadowy spots. And you just get a nicer overall look to it. So now that we have a good base of color down, and I'm happy with the clarity of it, I am going to mix up my magnet gel to go in there. So I want to match this color perfectly, and I don't have a magnet polish that is perfect, so I will create it. And that's the joy of glass gels, syrup gels, any kind of tinted gels, and a plain regular silver cat eye. Now the tricky part I find with things like this is making enough without making way too much and having a ton of waste, but wanting to make sure that there is enough so that you get consistency across all the nails being the same color, style, what have you. Because if I put way more cat eye in this batch and it's not enough and I have to mix it again, I don't know if I'm going to get it quite the same next time. Not the end of the world, but it's nice when you can kind of try and make it as consistent as possible. And when you're doing something like this, you want to use like a silicone tool or something as opposed to your brush, because otherwise it's just going to load your brush right up and it's not going to quite mix the way you might want it to. Now there's a simpler method of doing this where you just do your cat eye, your silver cat eye, and then you paint over it with your syrup or your tinted gel. And if you have a pure glass gel that's completely transparent, then that actually does work quite well. In this case though, when you're using a syrup gel that's got a little more opacity to it, it's not quite completely see-through. Well, mind you, this one is pretty glassy. It just kind of covers up some of the cat eye look. So it still looks great. It's just not as dramatic of an effect as if you mix it into the polish. So I have no idea if that's going to be enough or not for the 5 nails I'm doing right now. Okay, let's just guess that it is. Okay, we'll go with that. All right, so then I need an application brush. And again, because you're using a magnet here, you want to go a little heavier because you do need to work the magnet. So I'm looking at this thinking, I probably need a little more product made, but we'll see, because only this one is a really big nail. My other ones can be a lot smaller. One of the things about these plastic stands is, as ideal as they are for using a magnet polish so that you aren't fighting against the magnets that are inside the stand, the tip part is super wide and it is not ideal for anything other than much bigger nails. So if you have smaller nails or you're working on a pinky or something like that, it's a real pain to try and get them to sit on the stand so you aren't painting over the edges. I have to see about the magnet here because I'm feeling like it might not quite have the magnet quality to it that I would like, but we'll see once we hit it. I may have gone too heavy on the syrup polish and not enough on the magnet. We'll see. Oh, there we go. That's nice. All right, I think I like it. Make sure I cure that before it shifts. So it would seem I got a little overzealous and sloppy yesterday while I was working and getting partway through a couple of nail sets, and I must have come in contact with some gel, which I am not at all surprised at because I am starting to break out. And I can tell you guys, it is itchy as I cannot say. And so thankfully I have hella cortisone steroid cream and stuff to help with it. But I was wearing gloves the whole entire time. I was extra careful. I wear barrier cream. I do the whole bit. But at some point, somehow, I got sloppy and touched something. Or one of the things that I find is when I'm stamping is my biggest issue because of using the acetone, and it splashes even the tiniest bit on my glove and it'll get through it. So not the acetone, but the acetone weakens the glove, and then the chemicals from the gel polish get through. Even if you can't see it, even if it's like microscopic, that's what happens. So I'm going to be extra careful today. Hope for the best and make sure that this doesn't get any worse. So as you can see, it's what it is little blisters all underneath there, and it will start to spread and get worse and pustule up all nasty, and then they start to burst, and they often kind of crawl into my crevices here in the webbings in my fingers. So yeah, it's not fun. It's kind of nasty, and it is so itchy and so hard to get rid of. It will likely take a few weeks to start clearing up, as long as it doesn't get a lot worse. So I'm layered up with my steroid cream, and then layered up with some gloves in a bottle for some barrier cream, and then gloving up really well and hoping that this doesn't get worse. And really, once I finish this set, then I will have to take a break for a bit to not risk getting too much worse. But these have to be done tonight because they need to be worn tomorrow. So I'm going at it. So my next step is to be going in with my sticker images. And so I wipe off the inhibition layer from the last polish, just so that we're not trying to put them onto a slick and slippery surface. And now, as per usual, my amazing drawing skills, I just did a little bit of a kind of mock-up of, where I think different stickers would look best. And this is how well I draw. This is why I rely on everything else except for drawing and hand painting. I'm going with these bebes. Now, usually I would be very unhappy that this is not absolutely perfect, and I would be pulling it off and redoing it 1,000 times. But I'm working on that. So let's not try and be a perfectionist. And it's almost perfect. So we'll leave it at that. So just getting this sticker on really good. Got a bit of a bubble there that I'll probably take a knife to see if I can't kind of split the sticker a bit so it gets rid of that bubble. I might be able to push it out. There might do the trick. All right, so we got our first one. And when you're using stickers, you want to be really, really vigilant with those edges so that you don't end up with bubbles and lifting. And it just shows up kind of noticeably if you're not careful once you put your top coat on. God, I hate these plastic stands. If anybody has a better option than these things, the pieces are so wide that you can't put anything small. No pinkies, no nothing on them. Before I do this ring finger, I'm going to paint my thumb and just see how that Bemi leaf gel, what the effect is like. I'm going in with my Bemi metal leaf gel in this fabulous color over the hard work that I did for this cat eye by accident. This stuff is like incredible. It's like, I don't like potted gels. Like, I just find them a pain to have to pull out another brush and like clean off your brush when you're changing colors. And like, it's just, I don't know. I don't work potted and it's annoying to me. So that being said though, these, I don't know, like I've just never seen a bottled gel that has quite this metal effect. It's just incredible, insane. I have, I think, a collection of them, or maybe just a few colors that I picked up. And yeah, the Bemi leaf gels are about the only thing, other than maybe a couple opal gels or something that I have, but that I do have in potted that I'm kind of all about. These work. I don't want to go too thick or it's not going to cure properly. So 2 thin coats are probably the best option. And I don't necessarily even have to do another coat, seeing as how I already have like a color coat underneath by accident. But there are a couple of spots where you can see that there's a little bit of show through. So I will do a second just to make sure it's extremely consistent all the way across. So that's the first coat. And then I'm going to go in with a super thin, just making sure that there's no bald spots. Not that you would likely even be able to notice it, but I'll know. Go this way. I'll know everything's covered and there's no peek through. And just quick, simple like that. Second coat and that's it. We're going to wipe off that inhibition layer so it's not slimy for our sticker. And I'm going to go in with one of these babies because it's lighter. I'm hoping it's going to show up. Not sure yet. We will have to see. So it looks like the skull itself is going to show, but maybe not the filigree around it. I just ripped the tip of my sticker, but that's okay. I'm going to get it on there. And you're actually not going to notice because the shiny is so shiny. Okay, I'm not being picky. This is just very crooked. So this one wasn't so ideal because, like I say, all the stuff around it is not showing up. But that's okay. It's the kind of the only one that's on the sticker sheet that's going to be light enough to show up. I was going to leave this one plain and just have it the plain leaf gel, but I didn't want to leave anything plain. I don't do plain. I'm just not plain. Everything's got to be something. All right, now this ring finger is going to be a crapshoot. I don't know if this is going to work, but my idea is to lay down this rose sticker partway up the tip, wherever it fits best, and then to fill in with the leaf gel on one side of it, the top or the bottom. So originally I was going to fill in the cuticle area, but looking at it and seeing that the purple rose is up here, chances are it's going to get completely lost in that leaf gel. So I'm thinking about doing the leaf gel at the bottom section so that it shows up better. But I don't know if any of it's going to show at all. So this one we'll be seeing. And I really want it to go like side to side and right to the side. Kind of like I'm trying to do like a quasi French tip idea. Now the only thing that's going to make me a little crazy is that this little heart piece is not kind of in the center of the design. It's a little bit off to the side. So if I want my sides to go perfectly on either side, yeah, it's just not going to quite be what I like, but I think that's looking kind of okay. I don't know. This might be a stupid idea, but we'll see. And the reason I wanted it right up to the side is so that there's a definitive stopping point for the other color, like for doing that leaf gel. So I'm going to adjust this a little bit because otherwise I've got to kind of create a dividing line there, which I can totally do, but it would be a lot cleaner and nicer if the whole sticker did it. Well, I was pretty happy there for a while about how much I was not fussing and I was doing a good job with overcoming my perfectionism and fighting it. And then I came to this sticker. And I fussed. But you know what? I'm pretty happy with where I've ended up. So I'm going to get this down and try not fuss as long with the next one. Damn, I just about wore the sticky off the sticker, but I finally got it to place where I want it. Mind you, I would have really preferred it to be a lot higher up, but it's just not looking that way. But that's okay. I still think that it might be cool. It'd be a lot cooler if I could fill this part in with the leaf gel, but like I said, I think it's going to completely annihilate that flower then, and you won't even notice it. You won't see it. I'm just glad that I got it to place, and it's not too cockeyed, because again, it wasn't designed for this kind of a thing, so it's not perfectly laid out to be with that heart in the center. And I got it all pretty close. I am going to need a super fine brush, like my Zero Short. So I'm going to just try a little experiment here. I'm going to put this around the rose here at the top and see what that ends up looking like. Yeah, just like I thought. It's going to completely wash that out and you won't be able to see it. So I was ready that might be the case. So instead, we're going to go underneath, and it still might be too dark, but at least it might show a little better. It also keeps this filigree a little bit nicer if I'm doing the bottom instead of the top, so that's good. And I wanted this color somewhere on here just to kind of make the design a little more cohesive because I'm using it on the thumb. I really wanted to use this color because it matches the jacket for my dress so perfectly. It's like it was made for it. The minute I saw it in the store, I went, hey, I have something that matches that exactly, I bet you. Yeah, it's okay. I'm not like in love with it. It's not my favorite thing ever, but it is kind of giving the effect I was looking for. Let's go with, all right, so because of these crummy plastic stands, well, I shouldn't say they're crummy, just they make it so that the gel kind of leaks onto the sides on some of them. And because of that, there's some of them that have like a little edge that you can see like this, and that's not going to be ideal for our finished nails. So what I'm going to do is file these. See that stuff that was happening? It's because these are so thick that it's covering the nail when you do it. So I'm going to switch them onto little stands, and I'm going to file and clean these all up beforehand, before putting on my final base and top gels. It's always good to do a nice finish file on them anyway to kind of clean them up if you want. Now these nails are for me, so typically if it was just me wearing them and they didn't have all this like massive overhang on some of them, I wouldn't pull them and finish file them on my edges, because usually it's nice and clean. It's not typically this messy when I use my magnet stands, but I just want a nice clean finished look. And you can do this after putting your base gel on. It's just then I find I have to wipe them all again, and I'd rather just get it done and over with at this stage. Because then for my base, I can just straight up go in with my top. All right, we're in the home stretch. So now we're going to go in with our primer, and we're going to just put a little on each of those stickers to help keep it down and prevent lifting. It just acts as like a double-sided sticky tape for your images, for your stickers. Nothing too fancy. Just slap a bit on there, and it's more likely to stay in place for you. Helps prevent lifting, especially on your corners and stuff. Like if you have something like the one there that's going right off on the corners, I make sure not to have any sticker being actually over the corner, but because it's so close, you want to make sure you're preventing lifting. Then you're going to want to go in with some sort of base coat just to make sure you are sealing those stickers in completely. All right, so our base coat is cured. Now I'm going to go in with this beautiful Yogo Zombie Top Gel that I have been loving. It is nice and thick, and it's going to be perfect for this sort of design because it's going to help hide any imperfections in the stickers. Like if there's any little bits of bubbling, or sometimes you can see little parts that end up with kind of like a crease in them or something. I don't know if you can see any on here. So I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but do you see how there's some little areas here where it's a little bit raised from the sticker? So hopefully with the thicker top gel, it's going to level that all out beautifully. It's just really going to make that cat eye shine and these little jewel accents. Here they are all finished. Look at that. I'm quite happy with these. They turned out pretty darn cool, gotta say. They're gonna match perfectly. And that's how I go from this to this. I just can't wait. There are 2 exquisite sets of nails going to this wedding, and they're just gonna look incredible. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. As always, thanks so much for watching my videos. Don't forget, it helps a lot if you subscribe, like, and share, all that good stuff. Till next time, don't forget to love your nails. Bye.